Hey, what's going on, folks? Chad Forrester, lifelong natural bodybuilder, coming in with my midweek check-in. Did check-in yesterday, Wednesday. Looks like my weight dropped about 6/10 of a pound, dropped from 193.8 down to 193.2. So I think we're on track for that. Looked like with the pictures that I'll pop up here, looked like a lot more lines coming into quads. Little bit of feathering showing up in the glutes, which is about the last thing to come in for me is quads and glutes anyway. So I think we're on track. My trainer says we're on track, so that's all I got to go by. Just listen and follow the plan. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about the check-in, what my results were, and then kind of talk about a topic that I chose. It was just kind of the hit on natural bodybuilding, what it's all about. There's a lot of misconceptions out there, and I was just going to talk about that a little bit. But my check-in with my coach, the results were unfortunately back on cardio protocol. So I'm doing every other day, doing 15 cycles of HIIT cardio. I'm going to be on 20 seconds and then coasting for a $140. So the recovery time is a lot more than normal, which was my first HIIT cycles. But it is what it is, and it's proven to work. I did a similar cardio protocol in my last season when I was getting ready to compete, so I know it's going to work. So it's kind of the next thing. Once you get this low in body fat, and you kind of get to a point where your body wants to reject everything or get used to everything, you got to keep throwing stuff at it and mixing stuff up. So find what works. It's not always just dropping calories. It might just be a little bit of a mix up with some cardio that'll get it done for you. So that's kind of where we're at, and then I'll check in again tomorrow, which is Saturday. My videos are a day behind, but it is what it is as far as that goes. Life happens and you get busy. So anyway, kind of talking about what is natural bodybuilding. Natural bodybuilding is you don't use any performance enhancing drugs. I personally have no problem with people that do. It is what it is. Everybody chooses their path. I chose my path, which is natural. I've been a lifelong natural bodybuilder. The thing about with most federations, or most organizations rather, they'll allow some competitors to, at some point in their lives, may have taken in some performance enhancing drugs. I believe the OCB is 7 years. I think you can't have taken anything in 7 years that's on the banned substance list, which includes a lot of steroids and a lot of other stuff. But one thing I hear a lot at shows is, they'll be sitting in the audience saying, "Oh man, number 20 is so huge." In a natural show, huge doesn't win shows. Conditioning wins shows. So what that means is, usually, if you've got above average muscle bellies and muscle size, if you're the most lean competitor on the stage, you'll take home some hardware. Now, there's a lot of uncanny guys out there, like the Doug Millers of the world, that show up with uncanny conditioning and huge size. So you can't. A lot of those folks are few and far between. But for me, I'm 6'3", and I'll hit the stage somewhere in the 190-ish range for weight. Size is kind of hard for me to do because my muscles are my muscle fibers are so long, and I'm pretty stretched out. But I can do conditioning. It's finding that place. It's a dark place. When you get to this point in prep, tomorrow I'll be, Saturday rather, I'll be 4 weeks out from contest. When you get to that point, it's painful. I mean, you got to go through and set your mind right and get in the zone. And when you look at it has nothing to do with Navy SEAL training at all. It doesn't even compare to what those guys go through. But I kind of run it in a little parallel. You got to find a spot mentally that you can kind of get to and put yourself in that's uncomfortable all the time, and you got to hang there. And you got to hang there for a while to get to where you're going to be lean enough to hit the stage and do well. I see a whole lot of folks that hit the stage. They look good, they way above average, and muscle size looks really, really good. Big dudes, but they're not conditioned to where you're going to win shows. In the OCB where I compete, they're looking for Shredsville. I mean, they're looking for super tight, thin skin, wrapped on, just basically just draped over a muscle. That's what they're looking for. To get there it's a struggle, and you know, there's no jokes about it. And a lot of people that say they want to compete, they don't get to that level of leanness for a couple reasons. One reason is they don't have a coach, and I tell you right now, I couldn't do what I do on stage without a coach. And the reason why is I need somebody to hold me accountable. I need that other person looking at my pictures, because the thing about bodybuilding is your body doesn't always look jacked. You know, it depends on your diet, fluctuations in your carbs, all this kind of different stuff, off days, on days. And you might look like garbage one day. The next day you look in the mirror, it's like you're just shredded and peeled and jacked. Well, the problem with that is that you start getting down on yourself, and then if you're training yourself for a show, some people can do it, but I can't. You start training for a show, you look at yourself and you'll say, oh crap, I got to change something. You know, I looked good yesterday, what happened? So you start messing around, it gets in your head, and mentally you just get screwed. So having a coach, you know, my coach Brian keeps me, you know, level-headed, on the path, follow the plan. All I got to do is what he says. And I trust him 100%. I trust he's going to get me where I need to be, not only physically, but he keeps my mental state where it needs to be, and I trust him. So that's kind of where you got to find a coach that you trust. I've worked with Layne Norton. Layne's a fantastic coach. You know, I've worked with Ray Binkowski up in DeKalb at FitWorks, great coach. I've worked most recently with Brian, fantastic coach, and I know a lot about Paul Revelia and his squad, fantastic coaching. You got to find that person. You know, the way I got turned on to Brian is Layne Norton listed him as somebody that he endorses as a coach on his website. You know, Layne's gotten a little bit above my price range, so I can't afford Layne right now. So you know, Brian is a little bit more affordable, but yet I'm telling you, I've been in the best shape of my life under his guidance. And this year we're going to bring a package to the stage, November 11th and the 18th. It's gonna blow some people's minds. So I'm confident that that's going to happen. And you know, I'm going to include some, in the description, I'm going to include some links to Ray's stuff. I'm going to include some links to Brian's stuff with C620 Nutrition. I'm going to include some stuff with Paul and his team. You know, they need a shout out. They're great coaching, and I can't recommend those guys enough. So anyway, that's this check-in. So I'm checking out, and I'll see you guys again Saturday.